Hey guys, it's Nailbiter, and I've got another World of Tanks replay here that I wanted to show you guys. This was my ace tank around with the Chi-Ri, which is the tier 7 Japanese medium tank. And so this is actually a fairly old replay. It's a couple months old. It's back from the 8.10 patch. But I've been grinding through the Japanese tech tree line, and so I've actually got a whole series of replays from the tier 7, tier 8, and tier 9 that I want to post. In the coming weeks, so I'll have those up. But I just wanted to start here with the tier 7, the Chi-Ri, which mainly because the tier 7 was actually the first tank in this line that I really started to enjoy. It's kind of interesting because I think a lot of people don't like the Chi-Ri. It's kind of an unusual medium tank. It's pretty big and has almost no armor, and it's not really as mobile as a lot of the other medium tanks. Its gun is also very unusual. It's kind of unique in that it's a 3-shot autoloader that reloads in about 8 seconds and fires a shot every second. So it's actually got pretty good DPM, even considering the fact that it has an autoloader, and most autoloaders generally have poor DPM relative to the other tanks in their tier. The penetration on the gun and the actual damage on the gun is not all that great. The penetration, I think, is 155, and the damage is only 130, which is pretty low. But, you know, if you take into consideration the fact that this thing fires 3 shots within a total of 2 seconds, you know, it's almost equivalent to having a gun that does 390 damage. So it can actually be really effective, and that's what you're going to mainly see here. This replay is really just showing what the Chi-Ri can do when it's put into a good situation where it can flank enemy tanks. Obviously, the downside to having a gun with such low penetration is that if you're not really able to put all 3 shots in so that they do damage, then you're not able to take advantage of what this tank is capable of, and the damage output that you're going to do is going to be pretty lackluster. Fortunately, in this round, I'm able to get a lot of side shots on these tier 8s. As you saw, I was able to get some good shots into that Yag-88 as he was trying to cross, basically just ignoring me, and here I get 3 shots into the side of that AT-15. So the penetration is enough to go in on the side of those tank destroyers, and on the side of most heavy tanks, and really most tanks that you're going to meet. But frontally, you're going to have a lot of trouble penetrating anything, really, to be honest, even some tier 7 tanks. You can see I'm just ignoring that KV-4 because I know that I have no chance of penning him unless I have a perfect angle into his back. So I was just ignoring him and shooting some of the other tier 8s that were over there that I knew had a better chance of penetrating, just to make the most of the shots that I had. So this is actually a really quick round. It's less than 5 minutes long. I just really wanted to show this because it's my ace tanker. I do have another round with the Chi-Ri that I want to post that is a little longer and more interesting, so there's going to be a little more to talk about just in regards of the strategy and tactics that I use. Mostly in this round I'm just taking some flank shots, and I'm really being ignored largely by most of these enemy tanks. That is there. You can see that is one nice thing about having the autoloader, is I was able to put 1 shot into the Yag-88 to kill him, and then put 2 more into the Pershing, as opposed to, you know, if I had a gun that just did 390 damage, I would have had to reload before being able to shoot the Pershing. And as you can see, the reload on the autoloader is actually not that bad at all. It's really quick, and I was able to set fire to the Pershing and there set fire to the AT-15. So I got some good fire damage there at the end, and I end up with just about 3,600 damage, which I think is really good for this tank in a tier 8 match. End up with 4 kills. So it was pretty much a steamroll. We won that really quickly. So here are the endgame stats. And there you can see I got my ace tanker. I got sniper as well, with about 1,470 base experience. So a really solid round, and I was able to, as you can see, it's a pretty good number of shots, you know, relative to the amount of shots I took. 25 of them penetrated, which is a really good ratio, especially for this tank, considering its penetration. So I was just able to get into a really good position on steps and counter and get a lot of good flank shots. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll have another replay up with the Chi-Ri hopefully soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. So I figured since the replay was pretty short that I would just Show you guys the stats that I had in the Chi-Ri, just to talk a little bit more about the tank in the garage. I don't actually have a tank in my garage still. As you can see, I sold it. I did keep the STA1. I'm on the Type 61 right now. I'm actually pretty close to the STB1. I'm hoping to unlock that in the next few days, depending on how much I can play with this tank. And I'll have videos up on both the STA1 and Type 61 probably in the coming weeks. I have a couple of replays with the Type 61 that I want to post, and a few of the ST1 as well, so look for those. But yeah, just look at the stats that I had with the Chi-Ri. Do it by average experience. Actually, it's my highest average experience tank. As I said, I actually really enjoyed playing this tank. I found it was a lot of fun, and I think the stats that I have in it sort of reflect that. I had a 70% win rate, and I'm pretty sure I played it almost exclusively solo. And actually ended up doing pretty well with it. I had an average damage over 1,800, which I think is pretty good for a tier 7 tank. And pretty good destruction ratio as well. It's over 4, averaged over 2 enemy vehicles destroyed per game. So I actually didn't play very many battles with it, only just over 60. So, you know, chances are that if I played more with this tank, these numbers would probably average out a little bit. I don't think the win rate would be so high. But this just gives you an idea, I think, of, you know, I actually really enjoyed this tank, and I think it is capable of performing well. I think part of the reason maybe I was able to play well with it is because it is an autoloader, and I think I played pretty well with autoloaders. One of the tanks that I play well in is the Batchat, and so that's obviously an autoloader. And I don't actually, since I don't have the vehicle in my garage, so I can't show you my setup, but I believe that I had vents, rammer, and a gun laying drive on the Chi-Ri. I don't think the Chi-Ri can, you can't mount vertical stabilizers, which is probably what I would have done if I could, but you can actually mount a rammer on the tank, which is unusual. I don't think you can do that with the other autoloaders in the game. So anyway, yeah, just wanted to give you guys a quick sense of the stats that I had on the tank, and talk a little bit more about it since the replay was pretty short. But yeah, I'll have another replay up with the Chi-Ri soon. And so thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later.